Let's take a look at percentiles now from a graphical perspective. And again, I want to remind you let you know, depending upon which textbook, which website you go to, sometimes there's slightly different ways to calculate percentiles. Ultimately, it's still the idea that we're looking at what percentage of values are above and below, right? Or specifically below another value, right? And again, that idea that if you're in the 50th percentile, that means approximately, right, 50% of all the data values are below your value, right? If your height was 5'9", and that's the 50th percentile, that means 50% or about 50% of all people would be shorter than you, right? That's the idea. So looking at it graphically, we have three dot plots here. Here are the number of siblings. Which number of siblings is the 50th percentile? So on your note sheet it says 40 here, but it's really 37 data points. And so what we really want to do is cut the data in half. And so half of 37 is 18.5, which is in this area. So there's 18. There's we have from here to here, that is a total of 18. From here to here is 19 data points. So approximately right here in this middle, but again, since this is all at the 1 would be the 50th percentile, right? 50% of all values are approximately below the value of 1, equal to 1 or below 1, right? And so that's the idea that we have here. And again, it varies, the definitions vary, but it really is just this idea of what is a percentile. Here, what is the 90th percentile? 90th percentile is going to mean that what value, right, has 90% of all the other data values below that. And so 90% percentile is another way, is top 10%. 90% of 40 is 36. And again, you can see there's the 4, there's the 36. And so there's kind of like the cutoff mark here, and that occurs at 7. And so 7 is the 90th percentile, right? 90% of students, right, have less than or equal to 7. We're actually below 7 absences. So again, it goes back to our definition of percentile and which one we're using, right? And you go back to the one we use here, but it really is about the idea of what is a percentile. And this one here, which number of absences is the 90th percentile? Here there's, 20th percentile, there's 20 data points, 20 is 4. So here is the 4 data values here, right? The 20% separating from the top 80%. And so using, because we're kind of in between these data values, a technique many times is to find the median of these two, which then we would say the percentile is 1.5. Again, we could say 1.9, 1.8, but again, just using one of the definitions, what you do is you find the median of this right here, or the average of these two technically, right? What's in the middle of them, 1.5, and that's it. Example 3, just an interpretation question here. If your child's at the 80th percentile for height and 60th percentile for weight, what does that mean? Again, 80% of children have a height less than your child, and 60% have a weight less than your child. Again, really trying to just contextualize, right? Contextualize what this percentile is. We don't want to get caught up too much on the techniques of actually specifically countering. We'll use technology to get those answers for us. It's about the understanding. And before we leave here, before we go to the next lesson here, right, in the next video here, we introduced this idea of with respect to these numbers telling a story, right? And so you end up with this situation here, looking at these here, which is the median or the percentile or the 50th percentile, right? And so we need sometimes more numbers than just one number to tell a story. Here's real data about nursing majors and criminal justice majors, right? Their median mid-career salaries. This is real data from, I think it's 2018. What would we know? What does this number tell us here? This number tells us again that 50% of nursing majors make less than or equal to $67,000, and criminal justice majors make 50% of them make less than or equal to $53,600. That's the story here. But as we see, we're going to look forward to how do we tell stories with other types of numbers or more numbers.